We're live.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How we looking this week?
Pretty good. I'm slightly bigger than you, so I'm gonna try to fix it as we're going. Whoa.
Oh, is that the theme song just repeating?
No, it's the YouTube feed.
Oh, the YouTube feed. Are we on still, though?
We are on.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Noonan Show, episode 34, Paul Pierce.
I know. It's a good one. The truth.
Last week was 33, Larry Bird. We're going through Celtic legends here. Next week will be 35, Reggie Lewis.
That's what I'm worried about. I just turned 35, and I do that with my ages, too. I'm like, this isn't going to be good. This is the Reggie Lewis year.
I know,
I'm
Sheed right now. I'm 36.
That's good, though.
That's a good one, yeah. No, I know what you mean. Reggie Lewis year. Speaking of things we need to do, it's updated Zoloft time. It's like a segment on the show. What's that sound? It's Zoloft time! You have to take the reins for a second.
All right. So what do we have today? That's what I should really pull up. Because I tried to do that earlier when I was doing my little...
Okay, yeah. Because we owe him. Well.
Yeah, I can't see it behind you. There we go. So I fixed the audio. What happened probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I had, it was like a lightning, and then just a bunch of my shit stopped working. I thought I fixed everything. One of the things that I didn't fix was why we didn't have audio for this for so long.
Wow.
This was just fried out, but we're good now. We're back.
That's funny. Lightning will fuck shit up. I found out yesterday that if lightning strikes... I was on a movie set yesterday. Me and Paul were talking about it. No big deal. Your boy's doing movies now. No big deal. Big budget. Have my own trailer. NBD. We don't need to talk about that. I already took it. You fucking... God. Now that I'm a movie star, I can't take stuff like that. But I was on set yesterday, and they were like, if lightning strikes, everyone goes home. Or if it's gonna last, like we can't stop work. Because there's generators everywhere, and like the Teamsters are really like. Actually, Teamsters. Everyone but the filmmakers and actors, the main cast and the filmmakers are like, because everyone gets an extra day's pay if you get delayed the next day. Yeah. But the other people,
I think I saw a spark.
And then delayed. They were like, it looks like it's gonna happen.
Teamsters. If I was smarter, I would have worked my way into that.
Dude, I ran into a guy, Dan Ramondi, who I went to high school with, middle school, high school.
Yeah.
And he's a Teamster, and he's working on film crews, and I was like, he was on the movie. He was working on the movie.
That's awesome.
He saw me going into my little trailer, and he was like, "Hey, Will," and I was like, and I had hair and makeup on. I'm like, oh my God, Dan Ramondi. Yeah, I was like, peasant. No, it took me a second because I haven't seen him in like 15 years, and he was like, luckily, he's one of those nice guys who goes, Dan Ramondi. And
yeah. It doesn't make you play.
I know Dan Ramondi, so I immediately go,
oh yeah.
Let me picture this 18-year-old guy, and then you put it on his face,
and it all matches.
I mean, he looks a little older.
And we don't play some stupid game where I have to pretend to know who you are for a second. Yeah.
This is why he's a Teamster. He's a real fucking man.
I like that.
Hey, Will, Dan Ramondi, like waiting for a 1 sec. I get it. We weren't best friends.
Yeah, exactly.
But we were friends. We were in some plays together. Or I don't know if he was in plays or on crews or what, but he definitely like dated some of my friends, who were girls and stuff. And but anyway, he was like, it's funny, I'm the one who's got hair and makeup on. Yeah. But I'm thinking like, dude, I guarantee you are doing much better than I am.
Yeah. For that day at least. Yeah.
I think even he knew it too. He's like, good for you, Will. Like, but like I got 4 boats.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't know. I'm gonna retire when I'm 50. And then like
I know, but it was great to see. Yeah, exactly. Like he's gonna retire, have a pension, be great. So I was like, they have the right idea, those guys.
In a way,
it's a good time though. But it is a long day. So I got there. I can't really. I signed.
You can't. Yeah,
I've never signed so much shit in my life.
Yeah.
16.
They might own you. Like they might have adopted you and owned you.
Yeah, like Netflix may just own my soul now. Like when I die, someone from Netflix will show up at my funeral and be like, "How do you guys feel about Will? Thumbs up, thumbs down." But it was like. So I signed all this shit. I mean, it gave me like a cold sweat.
Oh, is that much?
They're like, hey, Will, here's your trailer. It's all like, here's your trailer. Just hang here. It's gonna be a while. We're making a movie. It's gonna be a while.
Yeah.
Sign your contract. That's the first thing you do every time you shoot anything.
Makes sense.
But like on a commercial, it's like 2 or 3 pages and a W-9.
Yeah.
It was like. it was like that thick, people at home. It was like 3 or 4 inches thick, and it's like, and I'm just like,
a large Asian
and it's got all of like notes coming out the side, like sign here, initial here, sign here, all that shit. Yeah. And I was just like, damn, this is like what an NBA rookie signs when he like becomes. Yeah. So I was like, all right. But I'm thinking that's how you know you're working on something big, and
that's awesome.
And
still freaky though.
Yeah, I mean, I sign shit like that kind of all the time.
Yeah, more and more now.
I just signed something a few weeks ago, where another comedian who signed the same deal was like, hey man, like, doesn't that suck that we can't put that material like on our own albums? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, those jokes like you can't use for 2 years on like your own stuff. And I was like, can't? And I was like, phew. I was like, good thing you told me, because I didn't know that part of the contract. I just signed it.
Yeah. You want to do it.
I want to do the deal. I'm gonna sign it. And I always go like, who's gonna sue me? Will Noonan at this point.
And who wants to read all that crap too?
Yeah, but it is kind of fun. And also, I always wonder like how much people are following up on that. Like we're really getting specific here with jokes. Like,
yeah, if you blew up though. Like,
oh yeah, it'd be a for sure lawsuit. That's what it's there for.
That's exactly what it's for.
So anywho,
catch-alls.
But and you sign stuff like, especially with a lot of the commercials, it's kind of like, hey, how many times can we show this? How many times? Yeah. How many places? For how many years can we show this?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Can we like completely remix it and turn it into a tampon commercial?
So it's when I'm an ignoramus, because like I'm not even kidding you. I handed it into them 3 times. It was just like school. Yeah. I handed it in. They were like, no, you missed a couple pages. And then I handed it in again. They were like, one more time, Will. And then they were like, 4 times the charm. And then at the end of the day, it's one person's job to like get all the signatures. At the end of the day, after all that at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, I'm done. I'm like, I've been there for 9-10 hours. I'm like, go to my trailer. I take off my costume.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a half hour. No one is coming by.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting their cars and leaving, and I'm like, well, I do have 2 more days on this thing, so they're just expecting me to walk away.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. That's kind of how it is normally. It's like, that's a wrap means that's a wrap.
Yeah.
So this is like rookie mistake. I get in my car and I'm this is where I show that I'm just like a fucking comedian and not like a movie star like the rest of the people there. Because I'm just like,
because they all assume
there's like real people who like you recognize walking around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're leaving. The girl from that movie I own on DVD is leaving, so I'm leaving.
I might watch that movie.
Yeah, I might watch that movie when I get home. See ya, pal. And then so then I'm like a mile away, already hitting my vape pen, leading into the next segment. Already hitting my vape pen like as hard as I can. And they're like, and the girl calls me, she's like already laughing too. She's like, Will, did you leave already? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, when you're in a movie, you have to sign a piece of paper at the end of the day that says like you worked all day. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I'll be right there. I'll turn around. And I was more like, I'm such an idiot, that was more my thought. Was like, I look like such an idiot all the time.
Not really though.
No, I think it's sort of what people like about me.
Yeah.
That's what I always kind of want to say.
You're still nice. You're still like, fun.
What makes I'm sorry about this, but this is also what makes me like funny.
It's
just like I'm not really thinking too deep.
It's why you like a homemade sauce. It's like a something else there. It's a little something else.
I do get I kind of got that vibe. I was like, ugh. But then I was very apologetic. Like, I'm sorry, probably. Because there was like this girl. So then I'm coming back, right? And I'm driving all the way back to the base camp. I mean, it's a huge thing.
It's massive.
But there was they had sent like a PA all the way to like the street. And she's standing there in the rain holding her piece of paper waiting for me. And I'm like,
You're like
I was like, I'm so sorry. And then I'm like, can I give you a ride to base camp? And she's like, no. And then I was like, please let me give you a ride. And she was like, no. And then she said no so authoritatively the second time that I was like, I'm not trying to like kidnap you.
Did you say that?
No. I was just like, cool. Like, no was no. Like, I just really I felt bad that she was standing in the rain. And kind of starting to rain.
Yeah.
And I think her no's were more like PAs being like, I would never take any favor from any actor because all I do is work.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They're in that mindset.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to run through the rain and I deserve to, you know, like that's the mindset.
Yes, sir, may I have another?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where they're at that point. But as a stand-up, I was very all day long. There were children actors and I was very aware of like, you're not there today. Like you need to be clean today. Like you need to keep your like jokes clean. Your like on the cuff. Yeah. Everything needs to be like above board today.
Yeah, very much so.
So I was kind of like hyper aware.
Even more than you'd be around your own. Like
way more.
Yeah, exactly.
I was hyper aware of like any innuendo I could even possibly be making. So it was like almost too much at times. Even with my acting, like she was like, I have to like be like, what the, I do like angry at these kids. And I was kind of like, it just didn't come that natural to me to stare at a little kid and be like,
mad. Yeah.
So she like the girls, I was like, I like really focused on the two dudes because I was just like, I'm not gonna like glare at this like, I don't know how they cast it, but it seemed like the dudes were like 13 and the girls were like 15. I was like, I just don't even want to like talk to you guys. They actually were. All of them were great.
Yeah, but I know what you mean. It's weird.
They don't want to talk. A 15-year-old, really boy or girl, but especially the girls like say it with their eyes. The boys like kind of look at the floor. It's like they don't want to talk to you, and you don't want to talk to them, and it's just kind of like. You can feel it in a house like a kid like that lives in. Like when you go visit somebody, right? You go visit somebody and like the 15-year-old comes in from like wherever they're at and they're like, oh.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
and everyone's like, hey. And then they like leave and it's just like, so anyway. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's a weird thing.
I think at one point everyone is that kid too. For like at least sometimes a brief period, sometimes a long.
I was that kid. We're built the same. Did you have that? You were just like, oh, like your arms and legs are just like. I remember just walking into rooms and be like, look at me. You have like a huge zit on your face, like you're bleeding from part of your mouth that you just picked it. You're like, stop. It's just like people are trying to be nice to you. Yeah. Do you want to play sports in college? It's fucking. You gotta. I don't know. Hey, don't look at me, but also love me. And I want to like.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look at me, but do exactly what I want constantly and know what I want.
And treat me like a kid, but a man, and ignore that I'm masturbating so much.
I still feel the same way.
Yeah. We all want that. So speaking of young, talented motherfuckers, we tried to give Fuck Boob a shout out. He obviously isn't as big of a fan of the show as he says he is, because he never sent me a message or anything about hearing his name on the show so many times. But
all right, though. It's still pretty good.
It's still all right.
And we pay our debts. We said we're going to do it.
Yeah, we're like the Lannisters. Yeah. We always pay our debts. So we said we were going to show this kid's funny content. And I do think it's funny.
I do too. I finally saw it today because I finally got the audio. So let's go.
What up, yo? It's your boy Mikey P, 26 years old. I work at a toll booth king, you know what I'm saying, player? I like getting fucked up with my homies. I like hot chicks, man. I love smoking weed. I smoke weed every day. I love drinking vodka, man. A little about myself, baby. If you roll with me, you gotta know I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about anything. If you're the shawty watching this right now, you gotta be down for whatever. And I mean damn near anything, baby. So hit my line, hit me up, dog. I'm a cool dude, man. Just looking to have some fun.
Hit my line, dog. You know what he reminds me of?
That's a real person.
I was just gonna say there's a lot of dudes at bowling like this. Can we do the phone one? I really like this fake phone call. I think a fake phone call is one of the hardest.
Really?
One of the hardest things to do convincingly. Maybe not as much for modern kids like this, like a millennial or whatever, because they're just
it might be a little different.
But I thought this is the one.
Yeah, this is the one.
This is the one that made me go like, this kid's. If he's already, it's like a funny. It's like you can see he's gonna be real funny one day. He's already very funny.
Yourself, you never buy anything, so I said, you know what, you're right. And I walked right into the jewelry store with my AP, and I said, excuse me, sir, could you bust this down for me? And he was the nicest guy and such a gentleman. He busted it down for me, all over. He just busted this thing sideways. And now it glows now. The watch is amazing. Yeah, it was 17 grand.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a good like.
No, I haven't told Karen how much I spent on it yet at all. No. Oh, you think she's gonna be pissed? Oh, you think she's gonna be really pissed? Yeah, it is a lot of money spent on a watch. No, he said no returns, and I paid in cash. Where did I get 17 grand in cash? I solicit my body on the side.
Yeah, I like the fake.
And
Like the fake phone call from Fuck
yourself,
Boob.
you never buy anything, so.
So let's do. You want to do the vape thing? I think we're on we're on youth right now.
We're on the youth.
We're like on this youth tip of this podcast. We were talking about these young actors and also talking about this. Fuck Boob's kind of a young dude. So now we got the vaping. Where is it? Vaping sickness rising. 153 cases reported in 16 states. Now this is a New York Times link.
Yeah.
When I first clicked on this, I expected a basic fucking.
It was the one I first found but so I've been trying to like be a little more credible source because for a little while a couple of our stores were like, that might be fake.
Yeah, but this is real.
This one's
Times,
real.
They are the news, and but I read the article and I came to a certain conclusion, and that is most important line in this article I think is that the majority of the cases are children or young adults and adolescents. So that's adolescence is like anywhere between 10 and 12, 13, 14, like
maybe 15.
15
yeah.
and then
I have no idea.
And then young adult I think is like 15 and up. So my guess is that they're just chiefing their jewels, like in chiefing.
You think that's what it is?
It's like this is what happens when you like vape like a kid vapes, just like, you know, and you're like, I love jewels, and like just the way I would be,
obsessive,
you know?
Obsessively. It could be that.
Probably doing it in such. So this is like what happens. I think this was what can happen when you
an extreme.
When you're it's like that. There was this. Do you ever hear that story about the guy who was like, he'd open up his microwave popcorn and he'd
oh yeah,
his favorite thing to do was like open it and sniff it as soon as it opened, and it became like a routine. And then he started doing it 3 times a day, and then he got some kind of weird cancer. And then they wanted people to change microwave popcorn, but microwave popcorn was like, hey. Like, as long as you don't do that,
you're all fine.
You're all fine. Why is this guy doing that?
We never thought that anyone was going to do that.
It's like he's inhaling, like...
He's like scraping it.
It's like still got a little radioactiveness on it or something. I don't know what the fuck it is from the microwave, but it's like... I think it's that kind of thing. You know, it's like if you're overdoing anything, something's got to give at a certain point.
I also think... It's 153 cases in 16 states. So,
which is also like nothing.
So is this just like a black market, like a cheaper oil knockoff thing where a little bit of bad shit got out there?
That's
because that's a small
you know
number.
What?
If you think about how many people are doing this, that's not even a real number to me.
I was gonna say there could be 153 random respiratory problems.
Yeah, exactly.
In 16 states.
Exactly. Like 153 when you're talking about 300 million people, 360 million people, or whatever, like 16 states.
That's probably a couple hundred million people. And also, the article is very vague about like, well, we don't know if it's THC or that nicotine because everyone's doing both. Yeah. Most of the people who do it do both, and I'm like,
everything's wide open. This is a little scare tactic-y to me, in my opinion.
It was. I think I see. It's funny. Everyone takes what they take from the trying to control your mind news, and
exactly.
I was sort of like, I think they're trying to say don't overdo it, but
it could be.
But I had to read really deeply into that. But when I hit that line,
if it said 15,000 people, I would be like, oh shit.
Yeah, then it would hit.
Even 1,000, I might start. Even 1,000, I'd convince myself that's bullshit too, though. But 15,000, that's a real number.
Yeah,
153.
I think that's. I think you could. And even they were like in one case, someone needed to actually be hospitalized. I think all the other ones were stuff that was definitely not good, but
they do this with like Triple E and stuff. They're like the first person died and then
Yeah.
like what you got to stay in after.
Well, health
9.
stuff always plays.
But just like tell us a little bit more about the person. Like I know there is like privacy laws and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I
let's
see what you're
say,
saying.
was it a 97-year-old man? Was
Yeah.
it a 3-year-old sick kid with leukemia?
I know.
Is that like it? Like
I do that. So right now is that Jimmy Fund telethon
Yeah.
is going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Which I donated. I love it. I was actually at the park for like while it was going on, and it was just like it's all good. Like,
Yeah.
but it's bad for me as a hypochondriac who loves sports talk radio, because I just drive around for 2 days, and it's just they have people on. You know, I was healthy. I was running 5 miles every day, and it was a regular checkup from my doctor. And luckily, he like read it 3 times and realized that I had the rarest form of testicular cancer. And then the next person, I was, healthy my whole life. I had a weird pain in my toe. I ignored it, of course, like you would. It's in your toe. And then they told me it spread to your whole body. It was just
stage 4.
Stage 4. And thanks to the people at Dana-Farber, and it was all like. Story after story.
That's not good for you.
After story of like,
very bad.
basically no matter what,
Yeah.
you could wake up one day with one of the
It's a
deadliest
complete
diseases on
crapshoot.
Earth.
You might as well go.
And it really is. Every time I hear something like that, it plants.
It's
a
so
seed.
bad for you.
It's just really something I've struggled with my whole life.
Like what you did, you should just like you donated and then you should just turn it off for 2 weeks.
Well, I'm not. I hate to admit this. I hate to admit this, but I'm nothing if not honest on the Noonan Show. But the only time I listen to the Sports Hub all year
Is right now.
is this weekend, because it's just too much for me, man. Like,
I get it.
I listen to the
100%
games.
get it,
I listen
man.
to the games.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I donate money.
You don't need it in your head.
And I actually don't even like, but I also kind of want to say this about it, and this I really hate to. They raise so much money, and it's
crazy
2
how
days,
much.
so it's like.
So
here's
crazy.
what I'm saying. I'm happy to walk away and take a little 2-day vacation so they can do that. I'm not like
100%.
I'm not like in
it's just for
any
you.
way criticizing
No,
that.
no.
Like that needs
No one
to
should
be
think
there.
that.
It's
No
the
one should
best
think
thing.
that.
No one should think that.
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm a hypochondriac.
Exactly.
And also, I guess this could sound vaguely critical, but it's like I listen to those guys because I like what they think about sports, you know? And it's like to hear Jerry, I guess Callahan's gone, right? So we'll talk.
Yeah.
Let's say I don't want to hear Jerry Callahan like talk to like a sick kid. It just makes me sad, you know?
Yeah, it's
like
it's not. They're an escape. I use it the same way.
Yeah.
Sports for me is like
I drive and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I like hearing about like guys' arms and like,
I don't want to think
pitches
about
up. Yeah.
life.
You know what I mean? No, I love it when they're like, oh, sail. I like just driving and being like, what the fuck's going on with sail? You know, I don't want to be driving around.
Not to like take it away from what you're saying, because it's a great point, but I feel the same way when they want to bring politics into it. I just don't want it.
like
I just
that
want
either.
sports. When I come to sports, I want sports. Or the cheerleaders. That's why I was bitching about the Celtics cheerleaders. I don't give a fuck about that stuff. I want everyone to pay attention to sports.
I know.
When we're at sports.
I know. I mean, that's me at Fenway.
It's fine. Yeah. That's why I don't go, because I couldn't do that, because I can't sit in Fenway, because I don't love baseball that way.
I know.
So I would need all the
I
accoutrement.
love it. I loved it so much. I had a movie shoot in the morning, and I still stayed until like 11. And I was like, I don't care. I was like, I just work tired. But it was so I've been listening to that, and because I still listen to the radio call the game most of the time with Joe Castig. But even they have throughout the game a lot of people on. So that's what happened to me yesterday. I'm listening to the game, and there's guys on there talking about his rare form of testicular cancer, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna get that. That'd be my luck. Got in a movie today.
Yeah.
God's gonna get me. Like I've had too good of a year. And then I'm like, but the other part of me is like, why are you still thinking like this after all these years?
Well, because honestly, you could use the same logic to say the exact opposite. This guy did everything right, but there's plenty of people who did everything wrong and got the same cancer probably too. So it's like, literally.
They had a woman on.
It's like
fucking
a
4
comet.
hours earlier. And I'm sure you were shocked at this lung cancer diagnosis. She's like, I never smoked a day in my life. But to return to your point about the information, one of the things is good. This guy was 33 who had the rare testicular cancer. I'm like, I'm 3 years older than him. That's the thing that kind of freaks me out, is like how I don't like hearing about the silent killers, you know, like the stuff that comes on slow. It's like I want like I could handle like a stroke or something that's just like a bang, like even a heart attack, that kind of stuff that just happens.
Yeah, instead of like a slow, inevitable thing that
Like,
you're not
I can't
even aware
do like
of.
I got a weird pain in my jaw.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll check it out next week. Then make the appointment, and then like go see, and then wait for the information. And then he's like, I don't like the looks. There's probably nothing.
Probably nothing, but we're going to have to take your jaw.
Yeah, well, yeah. And you're only a comedian. You don't need your job. Yeah, I think everyone, if they thought, my problem is like I've worked the logic out. Like I don't even tell people the things I think sometimes because I'm like, I don't want to poison you with this.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll say stuff and people go, that's actually like a really good point. I remember one time I said to this guy, he goes, I don't worry about life because you can't control it and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I go, yeah, that's exactly what's so fucking scary about it, man. You can't control it. I was like, whatever. You can't control that you might die tomorrow. And he was like, fuck. It was like I ruined this dude's like.
But I just go like, you can literally be. Both are true. So you can literally be in whatever state you choose to be.
I go back and forth between both of those guys 100 times a day.
A solar flare, right when we're talking, could eat the atmosphere right now, and we're just done.
Yeah. But that kind of stuff doesn't.
But it's almost the same.
That kind of stuff doesn't really.
It's almost the same, though, because it's just as random as these ridiculous cancers
diseases and stuff.
It's just as random.
I know, but it doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel as random. That's the thing I think with cancer especially. It's like how many times in a day do you think you hear the word itself? You know, and it's almost become it's very weird. Like there's an industry around it now. There's like therapies and rehabs and like food companies for people on stuff, and it's just it's kind of like I think no one wants to be unwillingly pulled into that. Like that's the point. You don't get to go, hey, I think I'll get cancer. It's just like it's like, hey, welcome to that. Like now you're in that business, you know? So I don't think anyone wants that, but obviously.
Do you ever think about what cancer cells are? They're pretty fucking crazy. They're like, they're immortal, essentially. They don't, the way a cell dies, it's telomeres at the end, and as that degrades, your DNA degrades and it dies. But they have the cancer cells, it's called telomerase, I think, and that's what breaks it down. Doesn't affect it at all, so they proliferate forever. They have like
it's like a parasite in a sense,
kind of in a way, but
a lot of parasites are like that. They
immortality, like it's that Henrietta Lacks, I think.
Yeah, they will. Oh yeah, my girlfriend.
Her, I think that's like the 50s or 40s, 50s, something like that, and they still use those cells to this day.
And she and her family wants dough.
No, they don't. They kind of they deserve money, but
her name at least has started to get.
Yeah, there was a book a couple years ago.
Yeah, my girlfriend was all about it. But it's also like it's
devastating
nice that
story.
Her name is at least getting like the recognition it deserves.
Well, in the book, that's how the family felt. That like they believe like part of her is carrying on, and like part of her soul is still going forward. They're very spiritual people.
Oh, I mean, in a way.
In a way, but they also should be paid. Like, that's the other thing. Like they pay these fucking people.
At least like a residual.
You just stole this shit from this lady.
Yeah.
Like this lady who died.
Too, right?
Yeah, black lady died probably horrifically. I don't know, but like.
Well, speaking of people whose names should be bandied about because they're awesome, let's do a moment of respect for the late. Speaking of radio hosts, we love.
I know it's
he told me I might be his biggest fan. Alex Reamer, no longer at EEI.
It's sad in a lot of ways for me, but it's pretty amazing too what he
A lot of people talk shit about politics.
Yeah.
Reamer.
Few people actually do something.
Reamer is actually joining the game. Alex Reamer has entered the game. Player one, Alex Reamer has entered the political landscape. Let me tell you, motherfuckers, my fandom has not stopped. I will vote for this.
No, you're gonna. Well, who's he?
Guess who hates traffic as much as I hate traffic? Alex Reamer.
He's gonna be working with Senator Eric Lesser.
Yep.
So that's who you got to vote for.
Massachusetts State Senator.
You got to move to wherever.
Yeah. I mean, I live in Massachusetts, right? But yeah, he might not be like our area. But
sure.
You know, it doesn't.
I'm not sure how it works.
It doesn't matter. But if you don't know Alex Reamer, for the people outside of Boston, he's a gay liberal guy. That to me though is like the fifth most.
Yeah.
like that to me is just the only reason that that's even a footnote is because that's something people try and hold against him for some reason, which he always deflects.
He's like, yeah.
He's like, he just goes, yes. Yeah, I'm gay. Next point.
Yeah.
Because he's a very knowledgeable sports fan. And I think what he said was he was actually starting to lose his enthusiasm.
Okay.
He said, I read his statement. He was like, I used to know the names of every player on AAA, AA. Like I knew who was coming, and I loved it. Lately, though, I've been more focused.
So he wants a new challenge.
Politics.
It's pretty awesome.
He's like, the passion's out there.
It's pretty awesome. It's impressive.
The only sad part is like I really think he was poised to like kind of start taking
Be the
over.
next. Yeah.
But
you can always come. You can always come back. You can do
more
a
room
lot of
for
things.
Brad.
Yeah, you can do a lot of things. Like I like people who choose to do anything.
I don't think
Like,
anyone is like sad for the guy. He's happy. I'm sure the people who are.
It's brave.
We
Most people.
We lost some good people at EI though, man.
So recently.
Drellick is gone.
Oh shit.
Evan Drellick went to, he was only he didn't have a show, but he was at NBC and he was always on EI. And now Reamer. Those are two of my favorite guys.
Yeah.
If Rob Bradford goes, I'll be fucking.
They can't get rid of Bradford.
I'll have to make a change.
Yeah.
But now my buddy Nick Stevens is on in the mornings, but it's wicked early in the morning.
So
I listened the other day.
yeah.
It's not really like sports. It's kind of like just a morning.
That's kind of cool though. I like that in the morning. In the morning, I only like light sports, to be honest. I get really weird into sports talk. Some part of the year, I get obsessed with it. Where more than I watch sports, I'll listen to sports talk.
I actually my time is now. Like I'm into baseball talk mostly, and then when it starts to be just all Pats all the time.
Yeah. See,
I'm kind of out.
I need the Pats for a while, but that happens to me too. There's like a tipping point where I'm just done. But then hockey season kind of kicks in for me. So and that's why I go to 98.5 a little bit more at that point too. But
I do the C's, man, so I stay. Oh wait, C's are on like ZLX now. Their games.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's a 98.5 thing. Oh. I think it's like I could be wrong. I've been out.
Well, Reamer is most famous for calling. This
which I completely forgot about.
This is how I actually kind of got into. I wasn't listening at all during this time, but I remember being like, I just defended him without even having heard any of the clips. I remember my mom said something about it. I go, hey, like, he's a sports radio. I never understand when people get mad at sports talk radio personalities for making like jokes
It was a funny joke.
It was a funny joke, and he was clearly being over the top.
How did he say it? He
goes, I listened to it this morning. He goes, oh, I thought the whole Tom versus Time thing was so staged. He's like, there's that scene and Tom's in the kitchen and his daughter's in the next room screaming, being a pissant.
Yeah.
It was like
That's
that tone.
Yeah. Which is also true.
And
the Tom versus Time thing.
Pissant is so.
It's funny.
I think he tapered like not
funny word.
He pulled it back.
Yeah.
He was like calling a kid a pissant is. It's like that's old fashioned.
So funny. That's why I liked it. Though.
And even Brady goes, "This is the favorite." It made it a Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Talked about it, and Brady goes, he took a weird line on it. He goes, I remember listening when he called in the next day, and that he made it a story. No one had ever.
Yeah, wait,
talked
didn't
about
Brady kind of throw him under the bus a little bit,
and then backed off because no one was really like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
But maybe some people on the internet.
Yeah.
And then Brady goes on his interview. He's like, how he calls in once a week.
Yeah.
On Monday mornings, he was like, that was really uncool. Like, I think 5-year-olds are. And I will say, if you're reading just comments on your Twitter that are like, yo, some guy in EI called your daughter like an asshole, and your daughter. Like, if you're reading that over 100 times, you might start to get hot and be like, yo, fucking.
Brady seems like
I don't even like getting up in the morning and calling these fucks.
Yeah.
Because that's like part of his contract.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what happened too.
So,
but every fucking 5-year-old is a pissant.
But then he goes. I think it was like the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl. Like it was that time they were doing all that media for that when this was happening, and then they go to Brady. they ask him about it. Everyone's asking about it. And Brady goes, but, I don't want the guy to lose his job.
Yeah.
He said that. He goes, I'd be sad if he lost his job.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because why bother at all?
I say anything.
And they got on Felger when he was saying stuff about Roy Halladay, right? Was that?
I kind of forget.
Felger's got a few of them, but it's like, that's the gig, man. Like, these guys are supposed to say controversial shit, or at least give whatever their opinions are.
Yeah.
And I think as long as they're not like openly, I don't even know, like personal, like about their. I mean, I feel like they can say almost anything.
Yeah, I agree. If they know the information that they didn't get from like behind the scenes things, if it's any information out there, they should be able to say whatever. I guess the only
thing that would like cross the line with me would be if they were like, well, you know what? Brady's mom has like, she's got brain cancer. No one knows, but we all know.
Yeah,
like,
completely different. Yeah, if you're outing stuff, that's completely different.
Or
completely different.
But like to say, to like give a criticism on a documentary. It was just that was like when I started.
Those things.
That was when my fighting for Alex Reamer started. But I always just thought.
Is that really why people didn't like him though? Did it start from that? Because people are so hardcore.
People don't
Brady.
like. Well,
is that where it started? Though
he would fight with Jerry Callahan about politics.
Okay, so that's
which I never. This is probably why I love Reamer so much. I'm not a right wing guy at all, but I just like passionate political people just turn me off.
So you ignore
on
it.
Any side.
Yeah.
So I probably would have been a little bit like, I always heard, like mostly I would hear Reamer doing these like shows. I like these guys when they do their, like Brian Barrett and Patrick Gilroy, they're on there late at night and they're no sidekick or not a team.
I agree.
And it's one guy taking calls.
Even though it's on the radio, it's like their creative enterprise. They're in charge of every little aspect of it.
Yeah, they might talk to the producer like, hey Nick, hey Jason, what do you think? Did you think Cora's getting fat? Yeah, me neither. Like something like that. But that to me is kind of like roll up your sleeves, like smoke a butt, drink coffee, like broadcasting.
And how it used to be.
Like I'm a man, I'm Alex Reamer, I'm sitting here and I'm taking call. Mutt does it. Like
I agree.
Mutt at night, right? It's just like one guy taking calls from idiots.
I completely agree.
And
it's a much better. It's the best talk radio.
That's my favorite. So that's kind of the stuff I'm gonna miss from him. And but onward and upward to Alex Reamer, the great Alex Reamer, who says he still wants to come on this show. He said,
welcome whenever.
I sent him a congratulations, and he said, it's
welcome whenever.
The good news is I still want to go on your podcast. So.
That's awesome.
We'll have to come. We'll have to have him on here or some such shit.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. It's a great idea though, and it's awesome. Like congratulations. It's hard to change something.
I think he's still
26.
Really,
it said, but still,
I didn't start stand up until I was 24.
Yeah.
So when you think of it that way,
it's a good point.
Like he's.
I was trying to give him. I was trying to say, "Hey, great job," and you're like, "Yeah, think of it that way."
No, I'm saying like he's. No, I'm saying he's still in that zone where you can pivot.
That. Yeah.
And it's probably not even that hard of a pivot in Boston. So working with the Red Sox organization and then going into
it's
politics.
Probably actually very similar.
It's not probably that different. Speaking of the great Boston Red Sox, was this not a highlight of my life?
It was pretty amazing.
Let's just watch the clip. If you haven't seen it on my Instagram or fucking Twitter, the 1,000 times I've shared it.
Cranks that one to right field. He torches that one. Back it goes into the bullpen. Well, that got noisy. His 15th home run of the season. A 2-run
look at this handsome
ball.
devil.
And the Red Sox cut it to 1 here in the third inning.
It's my man Tice right there giving me a high five. So last night I realized I should have gone, that would have been better. Next time. But
it's pretty awesome though.
Yeah, gotta give a shout out to my buddy Steve Da Silva, who's a fucking awesome Nesson cameraman who just so happened to be coming around to say what's up at the moment Jackie Bradley hit that home run.
So he's like, put it on Will. He'll have a good
reaction. It was like perfect. And if you'll go back to you can just pause it on any point where it's on me and the kid next to me. You'll notice that empty seat next to me, which is I have a ticket for and did not invite anybody because I go to Red Sox games alone and I have a great time doing it. Not only do I go alone, I get on TV alone.
I think it's funny because everyone's like, is that guy?
Well, so this is what was extra funny about it. I'm sitting there alone. I barely even talked to these people next to me. I talked to them like a little bit.
Yeah.
This family next to me, who I ended up after this talking to quite a bit. They were great people from Newburyport, Massachusetts. That's Tice. And I was sitting there by myself, and then Steve's coming like around with the camera. This home run happens, so he just like goes. He knows like this is a great moment. They're gonna score me. So he runs towards me with this camera. So like to everyone in the section, it's like paparazzi almost. He's just like. And I heard the guy right behind me go, "Who the fuck is this guy?"
That's Boston.
And I'm like, and I sort of didn't know what to do. Mike Narachi, I don't know if it's Narachi or Narachi. I think it's Narachi. Narasi. I actually never heard him say his own last name. I've only read it, but he's the director. Remember I talked about him? He got like the best he said. It's me looking at him saying, "Thank you, Mike. Thanks for doing this." But I was just so happy in the moment that Red Sox had hit a home run.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh my God, this might be on TV right now," and that means I'm on it. I'm like I watch so many games. I know exactly like what I'm I'm like. We're in that like shot of the crowd.
But isn't it crazy that like everyone knows what to do? Like this kid knew exactly what to do. Like we're all so programmed.
Well, it was like
the
I think the home run really did because we were already just gonna be like. But let me tell you this. So it was World Series. So this kid did go afterwards. He goes. So Steve goes. This guy's famous, and he like walks away, and then he's like. Why? What does that mean? I was like, I'm in these commercials, and then they're like, we know those commercials. So so this kid, he goes, we got here. He was a nice old guy. He's like, we got here at 4:00, and it was it was like replica ring giveaway for the first 7,000. Which I actually, if I had known, I would have gone early and got one.
That's pretty cool.
But he went and got his, and then he got a ball from like batting practice. So he was like mad psyched. He was already like.
Now he's on TV.
So then he goes, "We're on TV. We were on TV." Like, and I'm like, "Yeah, man." He kept asking, "Like, were we on?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he was so psyched. And then his dad starts getting it right on the app on his phone, and we're like watching it.
Yeah.
And then so they were like in a good mood, and it was kind of like funny after that. We like did a little bit. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm in these commercials. No big deal. I'm a comedian too." I was like, we went to spring training. We all hung out, and it was kind of like this. I was like, with that, we got lucky.
Yeah.
But very, very cool. And I was also happy to be rocking the Steve Rogers Captain America tee.
It's like if you do have a brand, and that's part of it. Like it is.
And I got my K-Man hat on fighting ALS. You can get that hat yourself at the BostonKman.com. I get a lot of compliments on that hat when I'm at the ballpark.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. I always liked. I'm not a huge like pitching aficionado. There's certain baseball fans who like really know pitching.
Yeah.
Really like just enthusiasts, and I love a good pitcher as much as anyone. But
yeah.
I think I'm more of a. I know a lot about. I like to think I know a lot about outfield defense. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of like.
I think a lot of people watch how they played. Like you watch your position.
Yeah, that's
a little bit more.
I watch center field a lot.
Yeah.
Which I still play. But so that was just the coolest. And I got a lot of I love it when like randoms like, on Twitter are like, "Was that Will?"
Was that Will? Do you any of these you want to do?
Want to watch that dude talking about the machete again?
Yeah,
since we
brought
didn't
that up. Yeah.
I saw that. Evan Luongo.
I watch it again. I definitely remember this.
Half asleep.
She's a riot, by the way, Rondella. She gets all the most interesting stories.
Moment of conflict where I'm like, okay, well, if I go in there, I have to be ready to die, but I may have to be ready to kill someone.
Police say armed suspects, 19-year-old
I'm amazed.
Edelson.
That's how he is, by the way.
The
Like,
size of the
I'm amazed by this, though.
I kind of need that motion, like, dude, if we're doing this, we're doing this, like, and you're in my house, so this is gonna get ugly.
The teen surrendered with hands up. Luongo then lashed out, only verbally.
I said something like, I know no one's believed in you, but come on, you can do better.
He said it with intensity.
Oh, you don't even know you come to a regular house? Dude, where am I a gun? I'm a scientist, and I have a GED, dude. My teachers called me retarded and stupid.
Jesus.
What did he say?
He's like giving the kid like a pep talk.
Yeah, that's the kind of dude he is.
Amazing.
So this guy ended up.
They gave some BS story about buying weed at my house, which is not even remotely accurate. They stole fish oil capsules from my refrigerator, my vitamins. They took the vitamins out of my fridge thinking they were drugs.
Why keep it under your bed?
Well, where the hell else would you keep a machete that would be of any use?
So true, man.
So that went a little
19-year-old is being
viral right there. That whole thing, and it actually got him in a stand-up. Like
That's
that's what gave
interesting.
him the. I think he'd always wanted to. I always knew he was kind of an interesting, funny fellow, and then this attention got him kind of into it. So he's an interesting and funny fellow. And the way I know him is he got into running. He's into running, weed, and comedy. So he had to email me.
Yeah.
Say what up.
I mean, I think I said it last week when we watched with no sound, but it's not everyone can attack someone that breaks in their house.
Yeah.
Not everyone has the restraint not to just completely go berserk and murder the person.
And
who
you know,
broke in your
he's
house. I'm impressed by it.
Definitely on the tough side, but not like not like physically massively intimidating or anything.
Yeah,
like I wouldn't want to fight him. He could definitely kick my ass, but like
exactly.
But not the kind of guy here. Like he obviously ran in after an intruder.
Yeah.
It's scary, dude. I think about it a lot now, especially that I'm living with my girlfriend and not just another dude. You're like, it's on me if someone comes in here.
You can't just like hide somewhere.
Or you can't like team up with the other dude. It's 2-on-1. You know?
Oh yeah, okay.
I'm like
yeah,
if someone
yeah,
comes in here, it's me versus him.
Yeah.
With her like what? With a fucking pan in the background, like
hitting me
maybe. I don't want to talk about the Spider-Man thing. It'll make me too sad.
Oh, it's bullshit, man.
I don't even understand it.
Sony wants more money, it feels like to me, but I have no idea. But it's just, why wouldn't you do this? Well, I don't know. It makes no sense.
You can't get Tom Hardy, right? Is that the kid's name? Well, it's not Tom Hardy. It's Tom something.
Tom something.
Can't get Tommy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
No, I don't even think they can do it. They couldn't do a Spider-Man like that.
I've been saying it that the MCU is just.
Yeah, you have. You haven't said. I'm super optimistic. I'm into it.
I want it.
I came late to it. I didn't even like the first half of the
Here's where
movies.
it's not over, but you just have to know
different.
now that it's different. And it's never going to be
definitely
the
different.
same.
Well, but did you like the Captain Marvel movie?
I loved it.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna go. I think it's gonna feel more like that movie.
I like that movie.
They're going more realistic, and they're going more
I just think they're going to start getting a little.
too.
They're just going to start getting like cheap with the. It already feels like they're getting cheap. Like they're trying to pump movies out instead of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
They almost have to. There's so much. They have to figure out how to get X-Men.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I
It's
want.
becoming like just comics.
Yeah.
Like they are comics now. Like
Yeah.
instead of reading comics, you go see 8 or 9 comic book movies a year.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not that bad. If they can figure out how to get it to work, that sounds really good to me.
It's my whole theory of relativity that I'm always
Yeah.
harping on about.
Yeah.
Amazon's burning.
Let me show you this first. We don't have a Just Shave It Pro, but here's like an option that people are doing. It's called microblading. It's pretty much like it's a small microblade. So
Never, always inventing new ways to self-torture the Koreans.
But now I know this article is about Korean women, but it's everywhere. You can get this done all over the place.
Is that like for the baby hairs that some chicks get?
No, you'd think that, but what they're doing is pushing in. This is ink that they're pushing into the person's scalp with those blades. So it's like a tattoo, but with the blades.
Oh, I see. Oh, so
it's filling out. Yeah, it's
thin
filling out
spots.
people's hairlines.
Yikes.
It looks all right though.
Yeah, it looks.
I think in some cases
it adds a level of like
fullness.
It looks like makes all your hair look thicker.
Yeah, and then also they can shape your face. That's like how they sell it to people. They shape
When you're
your
in a
face
movie,
better.
they spray stuff in your hair that like everyone's, even like the chicks, they spray this stuff so like none of your scalp is visible.
Yeah, it's so weird that people don't want to see that. It's like
it's off-putting though.
Is it like people think like that guy's sick?
It's
Stay
funny.
away
I
from
said
that
to
guy.
I said it like when I was in the chair getting it done. I was like, it's so funny that we have to do this, and she's like, it was funny. She was like, "It's the way it should be." Like it was like she wouldn't even like.
We must.
Yeah, like
Can't look like humans.
hair and makeup were costume were two different people. One of the people, it was the only person on the whole set I didn't care for that much.
Really?
I just don't like people who can't handle a little bit of stress.
Especially like it's your job and it's. I mean, everyone's job's kind of the same every day.
It's gonna happen while you're there.
Yeah.
They had like 40 fucking wardrobe people, and she like had two things to do at once, and she was like,
some people are like that. Though.
It wasn't even at me. It was just more. I mean, a little bit of
like
it was
general,
because that was
yeah.
one of the things she had to do. It was like, whoa, and I'm just like, all right. I see it a lot with bartenders at places I work as a comedian.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, it's not that busy. Like, chill the fuck out.
I think people like to do it. It makes them almost feel important. It's like my job is so crazy. Look at all the things I'm doing.
True. I always think it's because whenever I did that, it was because I was fucking behind the 8 ball myself. Like I was hungover or fighting with somebody.
Compromised somehow.
And I go in and I'm like,
everything's so difficult.
yeah, and then you're just dragging your personal shit into work.
I don't know if we talked about this on the show.
We did.
Or we just talked about it with me and you. But basically, remember I didn't know exactly how it came, but it's 1945. Oh, I should probably say for people just listening.
It's 1945.
Scientists decreed new study linking fluoride to lower IQ in kids. But the real reason I have this because it tells us how we all arrived at the conclusion that every civilized water needs fluoride. It was one place, Grand Rapids, Michigan, in 1945, where they just essentially like they added fluoride to public water, and it seemed like people's teeth got better. And then we've all been doing it since then.
I mean, but look at us in England. Look at other countries that don't do it, and us. We do have good teeth here.
I agree, and I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying like maybe there's a better way to do it because this. You don't
How about
need to,
this?
You don't need to ingest it.
They do this. Why the fuck are they? What else are they not putting? Like, if you could put, oh well, let's make their teeth stronger.
Yeah.
That's where you stop.
Yeah. So you're saying like mood modifying things, like almost like control society type of thing.
I wonder, but what's weird is
I don't.
How many people even drink tap water nowadays?
It's not a lot. I think me and you drink a lot of it, so I don't think.
We do drink a lot of it. I think people might be drinking more of it than they realize, like with coffee and
yeah, exactly.
Even taking a shower, your
body's absorbing stuff. That's what I was worried about more than anything. But if this is true, now this is just another study that possibly as bullshit as the original study that I'm bitching about.
Yeah.
But if this is true though,
and it's Canadian scientists.
If your teeth need fluoride and that does help your teeth, you can just. You don't have to drink it. You know what I mean? Like you just have like a nice fluoride wash.
Isn't there a kid? There's got to be one person on Earth who's allergic to fluoride. Like,
yeah,
there's got to be a statistical. Although there are things that no one is allergic to. Like
how though?
I know this because I'm such a hypo that I'll Google like that sort of shit, and there's like stuff like like a lot of seeds and.
That's so interesting.
Seeds and vegetables, like you just won't be allergic.
Then no one
on Earth is allergic to.
So crazy.
But like stuff that comes from the ocean,
everyone,
like a large bunch of people are.
Even that's weird to me. Though.
And as you go through hormonal changes, you can become allergic.
Yeah, and exposure for some things can do it too.
Yeah, but you should always eat a little bit of something new, and then wait like an hour.
But I think allergies change too, because as I've gotten older, my seasonal allergies or whatever they call them, I almost don't have it. Just gone.
Yeah, that comes and goes with me. And
I wonder if it's just certain plants pop a little bit harder some years, so they're pumping out more. So maybe you're allergic to like pollen, but it's really just one pollen.
You're allergic to like a windy August.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or the opposite, where it's not moving a lot.
I think about stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny that this makes me think of a bit I was trying to work out this week about IQ numbers. I was watching an old episode of Unsolved Mysteries. I watch all of the old ones.
Good.
It just
I like his
it's kind
voice.
of a scary show. It really terrified me as a kid, and it really has the opposite effect now. It like calms me. And it's from the 90s, so I'm like, all this shit is like I don't even know. It's like all these dead people, they've been dead so long. And all these missing people, like they've either been found or they haven't, but it's like, I don't have to worry about any of this shit.
Yeah.
So I just get to watch it and I listen to the like
guilt-free.
Yeah, and it's just guilt-free, kind of like, And I was watching it and they had this guy on there who was framed. They had these 3 guys, man, they were framed so hard for a murder.
Really?
And they did like 10 years a piece for it. One of the guys, I think, committed suicide. And it was all like just bullshit. It was like this kid had been killed and they had 0 leads. And then someone was like, well, I don't like the looks of that retarded guy downtown. He's always kind of weird.
So
and then they
much
did
has
that.
happened like
they did
that.
that thing where they like questioned him until he fucking was
Just
like
pressure him.
Yeah, and freak him out until he says
Yeah.
like, well, maybe I did. And
Good.
And so they go, anyway, the part that stood out to me was they were like, the guy had an IQ of 76. And I was like, where do you get that from? Like, there's no way you got this guy to sit down and take a test. Or is that it? Like, if you won't take, if you're like, they put the test in front of you, you snap the pencil, they're like, 76. That's exactly what I was thinking. You like take the pencil and you're like, and they're like 76.
76 of them.
I was like, where did they get that from? He had an IQ of 76. And I also hear you'll often hear people on the internet say like, I have an IQ of 180.
Yeah.
It's a completely my mom did have my brother and sister and me. We all took IQ tests.
I've taken it twice.
children.
I've done it twice as a kid, and then when I was like 20, and I got a lot dumber if you trust for the test.
I did well in the kids one. We all did, but I don't think it's. I don't trust the test at all.
Either. I think that's just nonsense.
But if you watch Unsolved Mysteries, it comes up a lot, and it was like you can tell it was one of those things they really would use a lot in law.
I think like defense cases, it's like you can't put this guy in jail. It's 76, man.
Yeah, like you have to have a rating of how
he doesn't even know what he's
how
doing.
dumb he is.
Yeah,
he's so dumb.
Like shit your pants, man. Shit your pants.
And that's how they kind of used to rate like a mentally handicapped person.
Oh yeah.
Like on these things. They're
Yeah.
Like
arbitrary things.
Yeah. So I find that, but that's 76. I guarantee you, if let's say like if he entered the system of medicine or something, they're gonna like refer to that and be like, "Oh, it's IQ 76."
Forever.
Hard data.
Yeah, forever. That's in his file forever.
And it's just this fucking like.
Yeah.
I do. I think I might use that joke though. Like break the pencil note. 76. Because it's like, remember they used to always be like, you just get your name right on the SATs. It's 200.
200 points. Yeah.
Because guys would. You'd always hear like those urban legends, like so and so got a 0, fucking spelled his name wrong.
Yeah.
Fucking put his name in the wrong spot. I took the SATs twice and did worse the second time.
I took it and I got the exact same score both times.
Whoa.
Is that weird? So I'm like, that's what it is.
That proves it.
Lock it in.
The
Not
test
doing
is
it
the
again.
test, man.
It works.
That was another bullshit one though, because none of that stuff came in handy.
No, and I think it really.
Some of the writing did, but
I did pretty good, but I did a bunch of those like prep courses, and I think they just like teach you how to take the test. So it like added like
Hundo.
200 points on top of it. Like, it really did.
I
Like,
remember taking those
it was
tests.
like write my
sometimes.
name twice.
I was
like,
such a fuckhead at that part of my life that I would just be like,
yeah.
I would just fill in shit.
You're just like, fuck
I'd be like,
this.
Let Jesus take the wheel.
I always thought it was bullshit though that I needed to like take a Saturday off to do it though. I'm like, I fucking do so much school bullshit. Can you just do one day where we just take tests in school? Like
Yeah,
we just do the SAT there?
It costs money too, doesn't it?
I think it does. I don't remember that part, but I just remember like it's a day.
I also remember thinking, why is everyone up my ass so much about getting good grades if like this test is so important?
Yeah, exactly.
Why don't we just focus on this? Like, if I'm a C student, this great SAT score, it's not gonna like wake the world up to my intelligence.
I think it does, and because all college admission was you have to sell a story. So if you like if you lost a limb, you're going to Harvard, something like that. But like even if you say something like that, like you're like, well, I got all C's, but I'm like, I really feel like I'm really hunkering down now.
I can't remember what I wrote my college essays about. I really can't.
You had it.
Something to do with acting, I think.
I remember having to write more than one because you had to tailor it towards different schools. I remember being so fucking stressed out for all this nonsense, and then I just went to like a dumb audio college.
I know. I just went to acting school too. I just remember when maybe like one of the worst periods of my life was when I was in fucking like high school and getting like not good grades, and my mom was freaked out that I wasn't like smart, like getting good enough grades. Yeah. And I wasn't like failing out of school or anything like that, but she just wanted me to get A's and B's. Yeah. She really just wanted me to get like A's, you know.
Well, your brother was really great at school.
But my sister fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, I never was.
Yeah.
I showed some promise in elementary school when everything was easy and fun. Yeah. And then as soon as it became like, I was just always I was always kind of.
You're over it.
My mom was a teacher and my dad was a cop, so I had a very good like idea of like, hey, authority is a mask you put on. You
literally had the two authority figures in your house.
In my house, walking around drunk, naked, you know what I mean, farting, getting colds. Like they're human beings, guys.
So you had that pulled.
You think they have superpowers, but guess what? They don't. The badge comes off, you know.
Yeah.
Like.
That's interesting.
So I kind of knew from the jump, like these women, they're these teacher ladies.
Everybody poops.
Everyone poops. Everyone's doing what they're doing. So I remember saying to a teacher like in 5th grade, I still think about this sometimes. It was a real fucking like wild thing for a 5th grader to say, but I remember like kind of like being like, is this all you got for us today? Like you want to fill a day with this? Because it was like some bullshit, you know. It was like, we're gonna watch this thing and then you guys are gonna write about it and then we'll like wait till 3.
Yeah, you're like, someone's hungover.
Yeah, I remember being like, we have 5 hours. I remember the guy being like, like you're in trouble, you know.
Yeah.
And I look back at it and I'm like, you're right. He probably was fucking hungover and pissed off that this kid was like, everyone else was like, whatever you say, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, this is clear. This is what we do every day. This isn't normal, da da da.
Yeah.
And I got in trouble for it. Yeah.
That's what I was like until I started smoking weed. And then I loved school after I started smoking weed. I was like, this is great. I get to sit down. People tell me stories. I write stuff. They read it. They tell me stuff about it. That goes to show you probably
needed some kind of like attention deficit medication.
Exactly. Like I 100% would have been. I still would be. Like if you like got me diagnosed to this day.
Yeah, but that's the
just
thing.
Energy.
That's your
fucking energy.
That's you just taking a drug to achieve a certain response from your body.
Exactly.
Because you've done fine without it. It's like, and I've done fine without it, and I think
a lot of people would.
This kid, fuck boob, like that. The thing I like about that phone thing he does is he's doing that like average guy now.
Yeah.
That is just such like a. I hate to say it, but just such like a dickless motherfucker. Yeah. They're all over selfie.
Yeah.
Just like 2 guys in like khaki shorts.
The same.
And they're just like, bro. And I told her like, we're doing great. Like our numbers are great. And the other guy's like, yeah, man, it's bananas, bro. You know? And both of them are just like, can't wait to go home and jerk off to Pornhub and roll over and fucking kiss my blonde girlfriend and fucking wake up tomorrow, strap on my suit and do it all over again. You know? And it's just, I'm just like,
the 7 boss.
Yeah, I don't like the way Game of Thrones ended, but what fucking ever. Yeah, my brother's gay. I'm really proud of him. You know what I mean? It's like that kind of.
Yeah, that's all of them. It really does feel like that.
Yeah, and they talk on phone, like they have phone calls as they walk down the street.
Yeah. And then I said.
Yeah. So I told them I can get those into you by next week, man. Yeah. I just hate it, and a lot of them, I guess that's what people hate, right? That's the yuppie people hate.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. It's just a new class of people. It's like everyone's interesting to me. I think that's what we think too. Like it's just like everyone. Like
they probably see me and they're like, "There's another one of those guys smokes weed." And
exactly.
So cool.
Exactly, 100%.
Oh, you're a comic. You think you're so.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that way sometimes when like one of those dudes makes his way backstage and all the comedians kind of like make fun of him until he leaves. I always think he probably goes like, "Yeah, have your little club."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to count my 401k.
Yeah.
I won't die toothless.
I've gotten into it. I've gotten into a bad habit recently. When I'm out with new people, mostly Sharon's friends or something like that. That's all. Because it's most of the people I know. Like I know you.
Girlfriends' friends are tough. We have one.
Because they're just normal. They're normal people, and I'm like I hang out with you. You're fun. I hang out with like a lot of weed people who are super fun in the industry and stuff. So it's like I hang out with fun people. Like I get to have fun. And then they're like, "Yeah, I'm an accountant," and I'm like,
I know. It's really...
I can like feel like my body just like.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's fun accountants out there.
They're probably great.
To people listening, but it's like.
But I don't want to hear anything about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
Or I don't want to. Yeah.
Are you an accountant for Whitey Bulger? Because I'd love to hear that. Like, but like if you're done to tell me like you're just. I don't even know what they do. Like I don't even know what to say enough to what they do. But I don't want to hear any of it.
I heard a good stand-up joke about that. Ah, damn, it was something like that. This guy had a job. I saw him on stage. He tells people he's a postman.
Yeah. Which I would be so much more interested in that.
Because he goes, I tell people I'm a postman because there's only one question. People go, what do you do? He goes, I'm a postman. He's not.
Yeah.
And they go, you go out there in the rain stuff? He goes, yep.
Maybe something about the shorts, and that's it.
This comic I just saw at Capo last week, and I was like, that's a fucking funny bit.
So smart.
Jimmy Cash is another comedian. He's a janitor and he's been one for many years. And he talks about the people. He goes, people always say the same stuff to him. There you go. They always go, ain't nothing wrong with that. And he goes, I didn't fucking say there was. And I love the bit because I'm like, I bet I totally said something like that. So
I've heard it, definitely.
He goes, another one people say to him all the time is like, great money in that game.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
We're so basic. Everyone's so
We all
basic.
do that with stuff.
Everything.
That's what I like. That's what that dude did. I think it's funny. He's like those little subtle, like the subtle things people do now. Mike Whitman's another guy who really captures that in his act. Like, don't cheat. Like when one thing happens that everyone's sort of modern, frozen, and clutching pearls, but not really. Maintaining this veneer of, we're cool. Everything's cool, easy breezy.
Yeah.
Like it's 2019. We're like adjusted. And underneath the surface.
We're all scared.
Everyone's getting.
We think we already lost to China.
I know. It's the most anxious. This is an anxious time.
I don't feel it. I feel the opposite. I feel like this is like. I think because I've already been to this point that a lot of people are already at now, but like 15 years ago.
Yeah, same.
So I'm just like,
but it makes me sad.
It's all fake, bro. It's all
I get
work.
sad when I see how accepted anxiety is now. I'm like, man, I was like totally not accepted.
It pisses me off. Pisses me off isn't the right word, but like that people won't. I mean, I'm like, maybe you should try exercise first.
There are things like there are people with mental health, depression, anxiety type stuff where I'm like, you do need to try.
Yeah.
You can't rely on medication only.
No. And that's like it's good that it's more accepted and people don't like just completely turn away from people. That's really what happened before. And that's better. But the worst part is that they're like, oh, now here's just the perfect thing that fixes you.
Yeah, that's
Instead of just saying, hey, you got to take a lot of fucking steps, bro.
Yeah. Well, I think what happens sometimes is the anxiety and the depression gets fixed with a pill, and then they still don't like who they see in the mirror, and then it's like, dude, this is your problem.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You are accountable for your own life.
Yeah,
like now you can get out of bed. That's all that pill's gonna do for you, man. It's gonna get you out of bed and make you feel like you're not dying. You know, but it's not gonna like
it's a sling to help your broken brain. But you still have to do work.
Exactly, and I do see a lot of that. But I do wish, like, I do get jealous sometimes of. You know, I saw like an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where Kendall Jenner is like having an anxiety attack, and
it's all about
like how serious of a problem that is, and her mom is like, "I'll be right there," and and everyone's like, "Yeah, anxiety stinks," and no one's going like, fucking get over it, take a walk, you're fine," you know. And I was like, man, I wish this was the because I had it my whole childhood and everything, and they were fucking giving me inhalers. They just didn't know what was going on. I had this panic disorder, you know. And it was like, now they would know right away.
But you almost think that they would know too soon because they're like, oh, that's definitely
I think
that's what worries me.
Think about it all the time.
That's what worries me. Like it's like too
I always wonder, like, what would have happened?
It's good, but it's too far.
Would I have developed a drinking problem if I had been on Zoloft when I got to New York? Probably not.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
But would you be as funny?
Or, like, would I even be a comic? Because the drinking problem, like, was, like, got me, you know, I was at a point where I was, like, when I started comedy, it wasn't such a problem.
Yeah.
But I was, like, a heavy partier.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, like, I wouldn't say I had a drinking problem.
No, it was more still social at that point.
Yeah. The problem, I tell this to people all the time, especially since I've been getting kind of a lot of attention for it. But I was quick to stop. Like, once it really
it
was like 2 or
escalated,
3 months of holy shit. It was like only like 2 or 3 people in my life were like, hey, before I wanted to stop.
Yeah.
Because I scared myself to that degree.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it goes one way or the other. Like, I just had one bad night and I quit, or I was like bad for years.
Yeah.
So just to clarify. Getting a lot of questions about that lately.
Yeah.
So just did 10 years.
People are interested in it too, though.
Yeah, and it's interesting to me who is more interested.
Is it people who are drinking still that are more interested? So it's almost like
everyone's interested. I mean, all types of people are interested in different ways, but it's always obvious. It's not. There's a certain type of guy
that's saying like
or girl
that's really just saying like, I need to fucking do this.
Yeah, they go. They just are in awe of it so much. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How? Never.
Yeah.
You know, like those type of people who are kind of like,
yeah,
I just don't fucking get that.
Can't even see that
like,
reality.
Yeah, like it almost is like offending them. You know, those are the people you're like, see you in a couple years. I'll take your call at 1 a.m. when you're crying, and you. Sometimes,
but sometimes people just figure it out.
Yeah, a lot of times people just slow down. Hey,
hello.
What's up? It's hot out. Is it still fucking hot as hell? Yeah, it's brutal hot out there.
But I always wonder, like, because some people are reaching out just like, that's awesome. But I think everyone's selfish, and most of people's actions, even when they're saying like what you're doing is awesome, is really some reflection of them.
That's true.
So I think it's
we can't even help it, right? Like
Human
beings are inherently selfish.
You have to make sure you don't fuck up other people's shit, but I think you can be selfish. I think you have to be.
In some ways, you have to.
Last week I was listening to the clips. I'm like, I'm pro double standards. This week I'm like pro being selfish.
I love the clips though. I love the clip of like the 5-second one.
Yeah, I would try to do one short one.
You see the lost cat posters that look a lot like your cat?
Really? No.
Yeah, they're all over Southie. Sharon, did you see those? What? The lost cat posters that look like Autumn?
No.
They're all over. I mean, it's obviously not her because she's right there. And
unless
it's a little bit of a look-alike, not like a total.
Yeah, there's a lot of those cats.
Yeah.
Everyone said that coyotes were eating the cats.
Yeah, no, not coyotes. They're coy wolves.
The North American coy wolf. No?
No, I looked it up before the clip because I wasn't sure how to spell coy wolf. It was 2 words or one.
It's real.
Yeah, it's definitely real.
Watch the
two different wolves.
PBS.
It's 2 different wolves though. It's not even a coyote. Is what I read.
Oh. I remember they did a PBS Nova.
Yeah.
That was like Coy Wolf. And
it's exactly what you said. They're bigger and smarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigger. Smarter.
Tiny.
Yeah.
The ones that
yeah, they are coyotes.
They look like little terriers.
Yeah, I've seen them.
There's a fox up the street.
They go. All right, I want to thank Conan O'Brien for making podcasting so famous.
Yeah, I didn't even know he was doing one.
When he started one, I was like, you have a fucking show on TBS.
It's the same
The
thing.
reason why people start podcasts because they don't have shows, you dumbass. I don't really think Conan's a dumbass.
No, I love Conan. But it was just a silly article.
Well, it's just, I think it's kind of funny that people are getting angry about it. They're... Because it's like, dude, Variety is not like some sort of magazine that like breaks artistic news all the time. I mean, Variety magazine is like, it's like advertising.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh,
we need some words to sell you, I don't know, makeup or something.
Yeah, we need like to just promote like Conan's podcast, you know, which we're trying to get heat on or something like that. So a lot of times the cover of Variety is just like a straight up ad for a movie. So
And I read the article too. Basically, it was kind of saying it wasn't like he started podcasting. It was like now this new money has come into podcasting. It was kind of like saying like these pre-established acts are now getting into it.
So it was an
wasn't-
article about
It
that.
really was, yeah.
it was just the photo, the cover
Yeah,
pissed
it
everyone
looked
off.
bad the way they
Word up. You want to do scratch ticket?
do it.
Last segment of the day.
Sorry.
So
Hopefully your luck's better than
I bought a scratch.
You won last week, right?
I bought it. We won $5, and I did end up buying another ticket with it. Or no, I didn't. I just cashed it in or something because I needed like $5 or something. I don't remember. Oh, remember I crumpled it up while we were doing the show, and then I was like, "Fuck!" So on my way back, I cashed it in. Bought another scratch ticket. I won $20. Used that to tip the laundry ladies, who I'm pretty sure are stealing.
that. I'm sure you're the only one that tips them.
They tell me I am, so now I have to keep doing it. 'Cause they told me I'm the only one that tips them. And then I was like, well, now I can't stop because I'm like Daddy Warbucks around here.
Your shirts are just like a little nicer. Like they're just folded just a little better.
Well, I actually didn't tip last time though, to be honest, because I was
Just sick of their shit.
a little. They fired my favorite girl
That's bullshit.
wrongly, in my opinion. I think she was framed.
But not down.
That's kind of what I think happened. You know how that goes, right? I go in there, I'm like, credit card machine's down again? It's always down. Credit card machine's always down.
I was
What's
gonna
up?
pay with cash.
Oh, cash it is. That's easy to trace. 26, 16, 117. 26, 16, 117. We lost again, but last week we finally did win some money.
Yeah.
But back to zeros.
Back to zero.
Back to the streak.
It's pretty amazing how little you win, though.
Yeah, we buy one every week.
You're an anomaly.
But we did have like few weeks in a row where we won $5 every time.
That's
right?
true, yeah. And I think one time we won $10.
There's a guy, an old guy, he goes, I bought a ticket when I first moved to the neighborhood. I won $100. I was like, oh, this is great. They got me now, though. He's in there all the time. Yeah, you got it. I was like, oh, I actually got the impression. I must have nailed it. Shorty!
Every single store we go on.
He was a big, not the guy with the crutches, the guy with the walker and the little. I know that, you know what, that guy though too. He does, the lottery guy with the crutches.
Every store.
But do you know the other guy who sits out there
Oh, the little
with the
guy.
with the
He
legs?
has the vet hat.
Yeah, vet hat. He was a singer, like a lounge singer. I started talking to him, and it was like his like days back in the day were like a lot like what I do now. He's like, yeah, I travel around here and I'd sing in the clubs,
Wow.
and like I'd make a few hundred here, a few hundred there, and like I did this, and I was like talking to him. I was like, oh my god.
You're like, are you me from the future?
I know. I know. I always think that. I know. I'm like, what was World War III drafting guys in their 30s?
Oh, shit, I hope not.
I am not either. All right.
Do you have anything coming up?
Tomorrow night, Norwood Theater. Tonight, Improv Asylum, 10 p.m.
Nice.
Bill's Bar, Saturday.
Awesome.
Capo, Monday. Bill's Bar, Lansdowne Street next to Fenway Park. The cat's. She's like, what is that ripping? I am the one who rips shit. On that note, see you guys next week. Peace.